East meets West in USL Championship as Hartford Athletic makes the trip to the left coast to take on the Oakland Roots from Pioneer Stadium alongside the fourth leading scorer all time in USL Championship history, Corey Herzog. I'm Joe Malfa, happy to have you with us tonight as we take a look at the standings in the Western Conference. This Oakland Roots team, after cobbling together 2 wins in a row, they're knocking on the door of some of the top teams.
Yeah, and a huge win last week on the road against Indy 11, bringing a lot of confidence home. Hopefully can get 3 points here tonight.
And part of the reason they have started to pick things up into a higher gear is the offense is clicking. You mentioned a 3-0 victory. A big reason for that, Johnny Rodriguez. He scored in 2 of the last 3 games in league play and also added another tally in Open Cup. He is one of our players to watch tonight on the Oakland side.
Yeah, and I definitely remember Rodriguez from when I was playing, scored an amazing bicycle kick, but leading this team to a lot of goals and a lot of confidence is huge, and it's going to be huge tonight for him to get on the board or create something for somebody else.
And he's done it mostly coming off the bench, but tonight he gets to start. How much does that change things for a player?
Yeah, it's huge. Huge confidence. That means the coach believes in you, and you scoring goals has proven to him that you'll back him up and score more goals, so hhopefully he can do that tonight.
Prince Sadie scoring plenty of goals on the other side for Hartford Athletic. One of those guys will just run onto it and do the rest. They want to find him early and often.
Yeah, definitely. You want Prince on the ball. When Prince is on the ball, that's what's going to create your opportunities and create a lot of them. So that's what Hartford is focused on tonight.
Part of the issue so far this season for Hartford has been keeping the ball out of the back of the net, but they're confident that the underlying metrics that have been there, touches in the box, expected goals, all of that will finally come together for Tom Ramos and his crew. It's not going to be easy tonight on the road against an Oakland Roots team that is clicking on all cylinders, but in just a few moments, Hartford will try to take those next few steps in the right direction and pick up the first win of the season. It's Oakland and Hartford coming up next on ESPN+.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, as long as you do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots teamed up and took on food insecurity, empowered all athletes to improve physical health, and expanded health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community, together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
My name is Ed, and I live in San Leandro, California. I've always been concerned about being prepared. And being on a medical baseline where I have a CPAP machine, I was wondering, will I be able to keep that thing going? I got an email from East Bay Community Energy, and they mentioned a rebate about getting an electrical generator. So I went for it. East Bay Community Energy has been great. They're doing a job to help our environment, and I think they're really supportive.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. We know kids aren't many adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids and only kids, which is why from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
If Damian Lillard accepted his spot at the end of the bench, he never would have been at the rec center before it opened. If he listened to those who overlooked him, he never would have heard his name called as a first-round pick. And if he let 6 all-star selections go to his head, he never would have had the heart to give back to the streets that shaped him. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross, UCSF, and Modelo. Take a look at starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. For Noah Delgado in this Oakland side, a couple of changes into the 11. The main one we talked about, Johnny Rodriguez back in as a starter, but Lino Mafeka is somebody you played with, very creative down that right side.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite players in the USL in the midfield, very creative, and if they want to get into a good confidence, he's going to start it.
And for Tab Ramos and Hartford Athletic, plenty of players on this side that you played with not too long ago. Danny Barrera anchors everything in the midfield.
Yeah, I think Danny's going to be a key piece tonight of just getting on the ball, creating that attack, and just starting the attack from a deep spot.
Teams are ready to go here at Pioneer Stadium. Temporary home of the Oakland Roots for the month of April. Matthew Corrigan is the referee in charge. It's Hartford in the light blue and the white from left to right. Oakland in the black from right to left. Corrigan in the yellow ready to send us on our way. And away we go on a beautiful night in Oakland, California. Light breeze, 60 degrees, sun setting. And a quick attack right off the kickoff here from Hartford, cleared away by Brian Tamakas, who comes into the starting 11 this week with Edward Clementa serving out his red card. Happy to have you with us tonight alongside Corey Herzog, Joe Malfa. Should be a fun one between two teams who have plenty of offensive firepower. Oakland has been better defensively lately, putting together a couple of clean sheets. Hartford wants to get there defensively, but we know they have deadly attacking options.
Yeah, you got Prince Sadie up front, very dangerous. If you can find him on the ball in space, he's going to create a lot and be very dangerous for this Oakland defense.
Elvis Amo is missing due to injury from that top line for Hartford this game, so Kyle Edwards comes in, 26-year-old from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And a busy month of March between his time with Hartford and also starting 2 games for St. Vincent in CONCACAF Nations League and scoring a goal in each of those 2 games against the Bahamas and Nicaragua. Dangerous pass at the back here. Murad sent scrambling. Plays through the middle, look out, never do that. Edwards intercepts it. Barrera to Hodge, clipped ahead toward Edwards. We'll keep it in. Sheldon drives it across, and now it's cleared. Derek Murad, one of the veteran center backs of this league, doing something you don't see from a player that experienced, playing it right through the middle.
Yeah, you don't want to see your center back playing that kind of ball 2 minutes into the game, but credit Hartford for keeping that press up. It looks like they're coming at Oakland, trying to get them under pressure, exactly what they did, and winning the ball higher up the field.
Tab Ramos said this Oakland team was a pretty simple scout in terms of knowing what they're going to throw at you, not so simple in trying to stop it. You know you're going to get the 9 dropping in deep, opening up space for Formella and Mafeka just like this, but the flag comes up on Mafeka. Have to be very aware of those wingers coming from the outside in, and we see it just 2 minutes in, right to Tab Ramos's point.
Yeah, you can see Rodriguez when he checks to the ball. You can see Mafeka trying to get in there. Unfortunately, timed it just a second off, or else that would have been a breakaway one-on-one to Sanchez.
He scored last week, as did Darek Formella and Eduardo Rito. So 3 outside players coming inside and picking up the goals. Noah Delgado and crew very happy about that Indy 11 victory. Said they started the game really well. Put together a few clear-cut chances early, which helped them build some early confidence. Capitalized right before the half with a goal. Nice play between Formella and Mafeka to set it up. Then right out of the gates, half number 2. Oakland's press is what worked. They turned the ball over in the attacking third. Flag stays down here. Chance for Hartford. And it comes all the way through. This is exactly what you said, Corey. It's going to be a lot of end-to-end in this one between these 2 teams.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting game, and you just want a little bit more composure from Sadie there to be able to pick up his head and find the 2 runners in the box. But already Hartford on the front foot, looking dangerous and getting into the groove already.
And when the game stretches out, that's where Oakland can really lean into the wingers. Eduardo Rito, first team all-league last season, scored the clincher, I'd say, against Indy last game. More of an exclamation point, made it 3-0, brilliant chip of the keeper late on in that 3-0 victory. Looking long again. It's Sadie again, and once again the flag stays down. Coming in on Barbier, takes it away. Sadie end line, puts it in front, shout for handball. Referee Matthew Corrigan immediately signaling to his side. We'll see if we can get another look at it. But the hand was out, whether it hit that first or came off the body first. That's what Hartford disagrees with and wants a penalty, but they didn't get it.
Yeah, and if you're a Hartford Athletic right now, this is exactly what you want to see. Sadie on the ball, running one-on-one, taking defenders on, just trying to pick out those runs in the box. And unfortunately, I don't know if it hit the hand. We'll have to see it later, but it's a great start for Hartford already.
Corners tonight brought to you by East Bay Community Energy. Providing green power at low rates. Visit ebce.org to find out more. They go short off the corner. Barrera wanted it back. Comes up top instead to Sheldon. Hopino. Now Barrera clips it through. Edwards is there. Blanchette on the eve of his 29th birthday comes in to make a play for the first time.
Yeah, you can see Hartford worked on that in training this week. Unfortunate not to get a little better ball out of Danny. Hung it up a little too far, and the keeper came out perfect.
Here's where Rito is off to the races. Flag stays down. Eduardo Rito! It's saved by Richard Sanchez. Out for a corner.
This game is definitely going to have some exciting end-to-end. 5 minutes in, each team could almost have 2 goals by now.
Richard Sanchez, a terrific save. Tab Ramos is clear about it. It's not often you go into a game knowing you have to game plan for a wingback, but that's the case when you go up against Oakland and Eduardo Rito. Mafeka still wearing that mask, picked up a broken nose late stages of preseason. Been wearing it more as a precaution as it fully heals. It's about 2 months, pardon me, a month and a half on now from when he suffered it. There with Diaz. It'll be an in-swinger from Diaz to the near post, headed away by McGlynn, out to Donaciano. It's blocked. If you like offense, this is going to be your game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if he would have hit that first time, wouldn't have given the defender time to block it. But already Hartford out.
Here we go. Edwards. Rito comes all the way back and wins it clean. Got your track shoes on. It's appropriate. There's one outlining the field here at Cal State East Bay.
And you can see Rito working his butt off to come back. Eventually, he was the one that got him the corner last time. Now he's working his way back. Great defensive play by him.
Diaz, two of the top teams in the league here in expected goals. I know coaches are looking more and more at that. It's not an exact science. It's not a tell-all, but these two teams near the top of the league in expected goals scored.
And you can definitely see that in the first 7 minutes here.
Oakland coming off that 3-0 win over Indy. And before that, a 1-0 win over New Mexico in league play. Also won an Open Cup against local amateur side El Farolito. On the other side, Hartford believe they are better than their record indicates. A lot of people around the league do. And chatting with Noah Delgado, the opposing head coach tonight, he said the same thing. They've been hard done. Some bad luck in some games. Close, hard-fought games against good opponents. On the road against Colorado Springs, at home against Birmingham, Orange County. They lose a nail-biter at the end to Charleston in the last one, 3-2. And all the while, again, just some harsh results. Better team for much of those games. Tab Ramos very happy with what he's seen. Now just a matter of turning those into actual results.
Yeah, definitely. Hartford is a better team than what their record is saying, but on the other hand, I think some of those games it's kind of their fault with the goals that they're giving up. They shouldn't be giving up goals that easy, and then they're doing the right thing offensively. They're scoring goals. Now they just need to cut down those mistakes and hopefully score goals, have a shutout, get 3 points, and here we go.
Even the opening game for them against Monterey Bay, a 5-3 loss, and just to show how fluky in a way. Yes, like you said, some of it their own fault. Hold that thought for a second as hits over the top again to Rito. Opino coming back to win it. Out for a goal kick, last off of Rito. But in that game against Monterey Bay, 5 goals on 4 shots on goal. How does that happen? 1 was an own goal. So it's incredible bad luck. Team on a great night, incredibly efficient Monterey Bay was. So even on their worst night, it was still some bad luck, but certainly things that Tab Ramos and crew are looking to clean up. A chance to do so tonight. He was incredibly complimentary, however, of Oakland. Said they are the toughest team we've had to prepare for all season long, and that's even more so than Birmingham, who are one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. He felt this was the most challenging, most talented, dangerous team to prep for in Oakland.
And it's hard to prep for a team where all the players are dangerous. I mean, they're right back, they're 2 forwards. Rodriguez, you got Mafeka, you got so many options for them to who's going to score the goal.
Who do you stop?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be open.
And going into Indy 11, winning 3-0 is great confidence to come back home.
Donaciano, Tamakas, and now Mafeka. Tamakas, the big offseason acquisition. He hasn't consistently cracked the starting 11 yet. That's more a case of Oakland having a lot of depth at the center back position, and Tamakas slowly integrating. He missed some time when he was with the El Salvador national team in that same Nations League window where Kyle Edwards had some success, the Hartford striker with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But he went 90 minutes, Brian Tamakas, in El Salvador's 1-0 loss against the United States. He's been the captain of El Salvador at times in the past. Big Salvadoran population in the Oakland area. I loved having him in, and he's starting to get more and more run now. Through for Donaciano. He's taken down. Door open for Donaciano and Nane here. Napo Masoso away from the team due to a personal issue the last couple of weeks. They hope to have him back in the fold very shortly.
You can see Oakland early in this game trying to get in those holes in between the midfield of Hartford, getting on the ball, turning, and then finding those wide players cutting in with Rodriguez coming underneath.
Diaz, Mafeka again standing over a set piece. Last time it was the corner. Taking their sweet time on this one, making sure everything's set up properly. Mafeka, all that for that.
Yeah, he needs to clear the first guy there. If you're going to take that much time on a free kick and not deliver that, you're going to need to figure something out for next time.
Something to keep in mind, in the back of your mind at least. Turf in front of the goals, you can see it right side of your screen. It's a little bit of a different shade of green, relayed recently, and it does make for some quirky bounces that we've seen now a couple of times that Oakland has played here. One shot caught Blanchette by surprise. It out of nowhere came in, caught the post, and almost went in. And then in their Open Cup game, Taylor Bailey was the starting goalkeeper, had one pop up on him on a ball played back to him, ended up conceding a penalty out of it as he gave the ball away to El Farolito. So something to keep in mind. Both teams will have to be aware, but you can see it on both sides, that sort of runway leading up to the goal from the penalty spot.
And as a forward, you got to be aware of that too. As crosses come in, you don't know if it's going to bounce. Just get your entire body over it. Just try to get it on frame.
Sound advice from somebody who's scored plenty in this league. 74, fourth all time. Do you actively sit there and like root against guys who are around you to not score?
Well,
or you just got to get back out there yourself and leave me?
I think that's the second point is when they start getting close, it makes you want to get back out there. So maybe in the next year or two, we'll see.
Nico Brett is the next active guy who might want to pass. He's at 72. He's 2 behind. Cam Lancaster 1 ahead of you. So he might create some distance if he gets healthy for Louisville.
Yep. So I might have to come back a little sooner then.
Out to Matt Sheldon. Ahead to Sadie again, just tiptoes that line, stays onside. Different look tonight for Hartford. You noted it as you and I were talking off the air before the match started. Going out of a 3-back, Openo is the left wing back, so to speak, and Sheldon on the right side. What different look does that give to them in the attack?
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to get more numbers forward. Get Danny Barrera on the ball with a lot more options with the 3 in the back instead of the 4. Get the wingers, get Openo. You know he's an attacking player. If you can get him on the left with one-on-ones, get Prince in behind and see what happens. And then Edwards coming in, big body up top to help Prince get in behind and hold up the ball.
Here's Derek Formella, had a goal and an assist last week against Indy. Slows it down, didn't have the numbers. Waits for the support. Formella all the way back for Barbier. Diaz, will he get there? Nope. Injury report brought to you by UCS Health and UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital. Couple on the Hartford side. They have struggled to get guys healthy over the last couple of weeks, and key guys as well. Andre Lewis, Kembo Cabato, Elvis Amo, 3 key starters on a given day who are all out with injury. On the Oakland side, a little bit cleaner in terms of the injury slate right now. Some guys who are on the back end of the roster who don't necessarily dress anyway. But as far as the key guys, nobody at the moment, knock on wood, injured for the Roots. Only player missing is Clementa with the red card tonight.
Yeah, and that's tough when you have that many injuries, that many subs coming in, trying in the early season, trying to gel, get those relationships on the field. It's tough for Hartford, but they need to come together tonight and get at least a point on the road, if not 3. That's what they really need.
In chatting with Tab Ramos ahead of this one, he made it very clear we're not trying to make this an excuse right now with the injuries, but it's a reality that has certainly not helped things. Injuries never help in any regard, but especially the players like Amo, Lewis, and Cabato said they believe Cabato is the 8 that can change things and take them to the next level in the way they play. Amo is super dangerous in the attack in every aspect, and Lewis has just been a stalwart in this league for so long. It's not only the quantity of injuries, but the guys that it's happened to as well. You never want to see injuries to anybody, but if it happens to a sub who plays 10 minutes a game, different than if it happens to a starter, and they're missing 3 of them right now.
Yeah, definitely, and that's going to change everything in your lineup. Just going to change relationships between players, like we said. And Hartford just needs to come together as a team right now and just figure it out and try to get 3 points on the road here.
Barrera to Openo. Barrera and Openo could have a little bit of a fun contest as this season goes along. You talk about the goals list with you. Those two are not too far apart in the assists column. Barrera, who's got a decent lead right now on Openo. Watch out as Blanchette has the ball played back to him again. That's on that green patch where things could get a little wonky, but Barrera second all time with 51 assists. Openo tied for 5th with 44, but Openo had a big year last year. He led USL Championship with 11 assists, so he closed that gap immensely on Danny Barrera last season. He gets a couple assists early this season, Barrera, then they can start chatting about it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And Danny obviously didn't have the season he wanted last year, and I think a lot of stuff fell into that place. But like I said before the game, he's one of my favorite players in the midfield. He can control the game. But Hartford needs to find the ball for him. He's not one of those players that's going to drop back, get the ball, take on a player in that. He needs to find the ball in spaces and be able to find his forwards to get those assists.
Down year by his standards, 2 goals and 6 assists. Not anything to sneeze at, still 6 assists, but by his lofty standards, a down year. That's after a 2021, the year prior, in which he had 7 goals and 12 assists, so double his tally in 2022. This year he's already got 1 in 4 matches. Formella, just over a quarter of an hour gone from Pioneer Stadium. Formella picks it up at the end line. Another corner coming now for the Roots.
And you can see Oakland's wingers coming in, getting on the ball, trying to turn and find connecting forward. It's going to be a very long night for Hartford if they can't follow those wingers in and get some pressure on the ball.
For all the opportunities end-to-end that both teams had in the early going, still not a shot registered for Hartford. 2 shots, 1 on target for the Roots. And this now is their 2nd corner of the night. Brought to you by East Bay Community Energy. It's one of 2 games that kicked off in the 10 o'clock hour. The other, Orange County and Indy, also still scoreless. Can Oakland break that deadlock here? And it'll be a goal kick. (2-2) between Memphis and Las Vegas, currently in a weather delay. Some results from earlier rematch of last year's title game. Louisville took down San Antonio 1-0. Pittsburgh 2-0 over RGV. Scoreless draw between Miami and Detroit. Loudoun 3-0 win over Birmingham. That was a statement from Loudoun. And Charleston continues to pace the Eastern Conference. 2-1 win on the road against FC Tulsa. Still to come tonight at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Phoenix hosting Monterey Bay. And then 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, Sacramento hosting Colorado Springs. Catch it all on ESPN+. Denaciano. Back for Nane. Now Barbier stepping up. Doesn't do this often. Lets it fly. And it's out for a goal kick. Thought there might have been a deflection by Richard Sanchez, the keeper. It's not often you see Barbier step into one like that.
Yeah, and you can see Hartford just making the ball go around, not splitting defenders. They'll take those shots from 20 yards out all day. They're just trying to keep Oakland away from the ball, get them around the wings, and just keep them out of the touch.
And to your point, as an attacking option, also having to be aware of that patch in front of the goalkeeper, you wonder if that's on the mind of Barbier. Let's skip one on that differently laid turf in front of him and hope we get a bounce.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a dangerous spot to be able to strike and just hit that patch, and you never know what could happen then. And as a forward, you got to be ready. You don't know if the keeper's going to catch it, hit a shoulder, bounce out.
Formella looking for Rodriguez. Logue hustling, won't get there. Another corner. Oakland fans have proven to be some of the best in the league over the last couple of years. First time they played here at Pioneer Stadium against New Mexico was a short notice. A couple of days that they switched it from Laney over here to Pioneer Stadium. And on that short notice, they're still almost at 5,000. Their record's around 5,500. They had about 4,800 on 3 days' notice in the venue change. Passionate fans here. Well, they give them something to cheer about now from the corner to the near post. And they'll do it again. Each time they've taken it from this near side, it seems like they're aiming for Barbier for a flick onto the near post.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to keep it low, get near post, flick it to the back post, and have a runner come onto it.
This time they take it short and do the exact opposite of what we're saying. Diaz whips it in, and it's headed away. Murad battling with Edwards. Might have caught an elbow in there and foul called. Edwards only 3 appearances off the bench in the first few games for a total of 90 minutes. Has an assist. Player they hope to get going. Maybe a little bit of a poke in the eye right there from Murad. Not a ton, but enough for a foul call.
Yeah, and as a forward, if you know you're about to lose the ball or not be able to keep the ball for your team and you feel a little contact, you're going to go down.
Trick to the trade.
Well, yeah, it's well done by him.
Edwards last year in MLS Next Pro was on the radar of the Houston Dynamo organization for quite a while. He was their 86th pick in the 2020 draft. Didn't sign with them, ended up with their affiliate at the time, RGV, and USL Championship. Great relationship between those two organizations. Spent a couple of years there with RGV. 6 goals, 2 assists over 2 seasons and 23 appearances. But last year with the advent of MLS Next Pro and Houston Dynamo 2, stayed under the organization's umbrella, left RGV, went to Dynamo 2, had 5 goals in the 12 games he played. Now with a chance here, injury to Elvis Amo, can he step up and fill in the way they hope he can? Rodriguez battling with Caveirad. Logan, touch that took it away. Awful hop up there on Hodge. Caught looked like one of the bits of the lettering there in the center circle. He just wisely played it back to Sanchez. Pace slowing a little bit after a rambunctious start end-to-end between these two teams.
Yeah, it looks like they're settling down. Hartford getting on the ball, trying to keep it. It was a fast-paced 7-8 minutes there, but I still expect a lot of goals in this one.
No way you could keep that pace for 90 minutes. You got to catch your breath at some point. I don't care how fit you are, how many sprints you did, endurance tests you did in preseason.
Yeah, I was getting tired watching the game.
For a throw, and this Hartford team, in Tab Ramos' own words, as far as their identity goes, they want to be a possession-based team in the opposing half of the field who affects you with the press and recovers balls in transition that lead to those dangerous transitional moments. That was his answer when I asked him to sum up their identity. We've seen that so far on the turn. Edwards fires to the far post, harmlessly wide. And did take a deflection, though, out for a corner.
And as you see there, Danny finds a little crease, gets Edwards the ball. It's a good pass by Barrera, and Edwards unlucky with the block, but good chance, good opportunity for Hartford to gain some confidence in the final third.
Barrera out to take the corner. 33-year-old from Thousand Oaks, California. It's back to his home state for this one. Started off playing in this area with Sacramento Republic in 2015. It was his maiden season in USL Championship, 3 years with Sac Republic. Barrera to the back post, nobody there. All the runs came to the center of the goal. If there was a trailing run, it might have been the opener. Edwards chested down, offside flag comes up.
Yeah, it looked like a great ball by Danny. Just unfortunate with the runs, looking like they went near post. Looks like they were on different pages there.
So far, Edwards has been active. First start of the season, picking up where Amo left off.
And that's what you want to see as a forward. Always active, trying to get on the ball, press, hold up the ball, trying to link in the midfield. So good first 25 minutes from him.
And Amo, a big player to be losing right now, has started all 5 games coming into tonight with 2 goals. Prince Sadie leads the way. Has 3 goals and 1 assist in 5 starts. Sent long by Blanchette. Flipped over the top by Rod. Mafeka took an elbow to the back of the head from Barrera. And now Corrigan will call the foul. Did not like how quickly Oakland took it, so he'll bring it back. Some news out of Oakland this week. They loaned out Wolfgang Prentice to USL League One forward Madison. Here's another look at that foul committed by Barrera. He's got the elbow into the back of the head. Over the top here for Rodriguez. He takes a glance at the flag, and it stayed down, and he wins a corner. Back to Wolfgang Prentice in a second, but it seemed like that caught everybody by surprise that the flag stayed down. He was ready to stop himself, Rodriguez.
Yeah, you can see the relationship between Formella, Rodriguez, and Mafeka. One of them's coming in, one of them's going in behind. It's creating that space in behind Hartford's defenders, which are getting confused by the great movement from the 3 up top.
4th corner now for Oakland. Again, they go short. Mafeka out to Donaciano. He sends it back post. Still loose. Rodriguez tried the bicycle kick. That'll send you into some flashbacks.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see that bicycle kick. 2 years ago, hit an unbelievable bicycle kick against us in San Diego.
And a yellow for Rodriguez. As he was going for it, came up underneath.
Yeah, I think that's an unlucky yellow. Guess he left his leg up a little high. Not too sure about that one, but it changes the game for him a little bit. Not as much as a forward if you get a yellow, but as a defender, if you get a yellow this early in the game, it changes it.
We have a moment back to that loan for Oakland. Wolfgang Prentice scored 2 goals in their Open Cup game, the win against El Farolito. But they just see him right now as a player who needs minutes. And you and I talked about it early in this one, the log jam they have on the back line. They're using him as a right wing back. Unless Rito picks up an injury, knock on wood, there is no way he's supplanting Eduardo Rito, and they know that, so they want him to get some minutes. He went on loan last year to Northern Colorado Hailstorm in League One, so back to the league, different team now with forward Madison. Somebody that they think will factor into their playoff run and could reserve the right to bring him back come September, October. They think they could get something out of him late in the year, but for now, out getting some minutes. That was some news in the past week for Oakland.
Yeah, and if you have a young player like that who's playing behind a player that you know is going to play 90 minutes day in, day out, you're going to want him to get minutes somewhere. He could be a good player for them in the long run, and knock on wood, like you said, if an injury does come up, he'll have those games under his belt, the match fitness and that just to slot right in there.
Here is Rito. Seemed for a moment like Tamakas and Donaciano were not on the same page. Let it pass between the two of them. It was interesting in chatting with the El Farolito head coach before the Open Cup game. As Sadie turns the corner here on Barbier, but the defender takes it away. He mentioned that a couple of the players on that amateur El Farolito side formerly were professionals in Venezuela and were either teammates or played against Rito. And all these years later to come up against him, they say he's put it all together. The size, the athleticism, and the skill. Look at this. Last week scored on a chip against Indy. Maybe thought a little bit too highly of himself on that one. He saw smiles as he jogs back, but he's put it all together this year, and you see brimming with confidence when you go for something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he caught it the way he wanted to, but you can see the confidence coming out of him. That's what you want. You want the confidence coming out of him, because then you can start getting the best out of your players and the players around them.
As a teammate, you're not happy with that, but you'll live with it considering what he's done for you lately.
100%. I mean, if it's a different story, a different player, and you're chipping that, you're not too happy about it. But you can give Rito that one. And it could have been also Mafeka and him on different pages thinking he was going far post, but I think Rito was trying to get a little tricky there.
Smile gave it away at the end. Barrera over the top, Sadie looking over at the flag, looking for it, and now it finally comes late. Assistant referee made the back line sweat a little bit. They looked over, looked back, finally looked over again, and the flag came up.
And I think Sadie needs to just hold his run there a little bit, because Danny did make that pass in one touch. So there's nothing more quicker that Danny could do to help out there.
Edwards tried to slip it through for Openo.
Either bend your run or be a little bit more patient out wide.
Don't miss any of the action during the 2023 Roots season. Secure your Roots membership today, starting at less than $20 per game, and receive exclusive benefits. Call 510-488-1144 or visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets for more information. Half an hour into this one at Pioneer Stadium on the campus of Cal State East Bay. With Corey Herzog, I'm Joe Malva. Happy to have you with us. Slipped through to Mafeka. Flag stayed down, but he couldn't get there ahead of Niall Logue.
And you can see what Oakland's trying to do. Get in that midfield space, get on the ball, turn, and try to find Formella or Mafeka making that run in with Rodriguez showing to the ball.
The point we made earlier, Tab Ramos said it was an easy scout. Played through here. Popino has options in front. It's settled there for Sadie, and he pounces on it. His 4th of the season. Hartford strikes first.
And as you can see, I'm not sure if Popino picks out the right run. He could have found Prince there, but Prince is in the right spot at the right time. And when you're scoring goals, the ball's going to find you. When you have that confidence, the ball's going to find you. And Prince puts it away, and Hartford now deserves the 1-0 lead in the 31st minute.
30-year-old from Liberia established himself with Hartford last season. Played in 32 games, had 4 goals and 8 assists. That was after having fewer goals and fewer assists in the prior 2 seasons combined. 4 goals, 8 assists last year. 2 prior seasons combined with Miami, and then Phoenix, 2 goals, 7 assists in 34 games. Really came onto the scene strong last year, and that form is clearly carried over now into 2023. It's his 6th start. He has his 4th goal, and Hartford comes away with the opener.
And this is where Hartford needs to learn. They're up 1-0. Doesn't mean they have to sit back, try to protect the lead already. It's only 31st minute. Go get another goal. Go get another one after that. Make it tough for this Oakland team.
Barbier. Formella. Just before Openo found that break, was starting to say that it was an easy scout for Tab Ramos. They know exactly what they're getting out of Oakland, and they know they could beat them in transition. Here's Sadie again to his right foot. Sadie denied by Blanchette. And it rebounded off of Sadie, out for a goal kick.
And that's what you want is Hartford. Sadie on the ball, taking on defenders. I think he's made the right decision there. With his confidence, go in there. If he could just tuck that on the ground in between the legs, it's a 2-0 in 2 minutes.
This is exactly where Tab Ramos said they can make Oakland pay. In transition and playing through the middle. He felt they would have a numerical advantage through the midfield and wanted to make sure his players would not be afraid of just driving through the heart of the pitch. They have done that so far, and they have taken the opening goal because of it. Had been a while since Oakland conceded in league play as well. 1-0 win over New Mexico, 3-0 win over Indy, and even prior to that, in their 1-1 draw against RGV, it was sort of a broken play off of a set piece. Ball was loose in front, almost similar to that, except on that night it was a set piece. Here it was from the open run of play where it sat up perfectly for a striker. Defense has been their calling card, Oakland. The goals finally came last week against Indy, but now Hartford has all the momentum. Played again through for Openo. Openo looking for Edwards, cut out by Tamakas. Back for Openo to the end line. Still in, and now cleared.
You can see Hartford oozing with confidence right now, getting on the ball, finding those runners in behind, making the Oakland defenders running towards their goal instead of being able to face their own goal.
Seems like they've kicked it into a different gear the last few minutes, especially with finding open. Oh, that's the third time that he has been open down that left wing.
And that's what goals bring. Goals bring confidence, they bring energy, and you can just see Hartford on the front foot.
Once again, it's Cedeno, still with it, ball Velcro to his foot, Cedeno! 2 in a matter of a couple of minutes. First of the season for USL Cedeno.
And Cedeno, when I played with Hartford last year, was one of my favorite players. Never got the minutes, never got the time that he deserved, I thought. As you can see here, takes on 2 defenders. Great quick finish, catches the goalie off guard, and that's what you want. You want to get that quick finish because the keeper's not even set, as you can see. Doesn't even have time to react with that left-footed finish. Great goal and a great finish. 2-0 Hartford.
That'll officially go down in the 35th. Sadie's came in the 31st. I don't know what that was, but it came after a goal to make it 2-0 for Hartford. After Oakland had gone 2 games without conceding here in USL Championship, Cedeno knows where the camera is, and he knows that he gave them 2 goals in 4 minutes after Oakland had gone 2 games without conceding.
And that's what Hartford can do in 5 minutes. They can score 2 goals. They scored 3 goals, and that's what you want as the offense of Hartford. And now it's a test of their defense. Are they able to keep the shutout? Are they able to keep Oakland off the board and come away with 3 points?
Tabaramo spoke at length in our chat this week about Cedeno. I asked him, has anybody surprised you this season, whether a newcomer to the team who looked different than what you saw on tape and surprised you in a good way once you got him in your doors in training, or a player even from last year who's taken a leap, and without hesitation, he went right to Cedeno. A young player in the offseason, he said they came to him and were honest with him. He said, look, we need to build out some depth on this roster. You're a young player who we see upside in. We can't guarantee you a role. We can't guarantee you minutes, but we want to keep you here. Do you want to stay here? Cedeno says yes. Started grinding. In the preseason, he started to click. He was always off to the side with coaches, looking for more information, how he could improve. All the hard work has finally met with the opportunity, and he has just run with it. Big surprise in terms of the leap he took from last year, as all the qualities they're looking for, Tabaramo said. Although he did say we'd be lying if we expected him to take control of the role in the way he has. But that is what he has done here. 6 appearances, 5 starts out of nowhere, and now a goal and an assist to his name.
And it wasn't that big of a surprise for me as I was playing with him last year. I saw him doing the extra stuff after training. I saw the creativity that he brings onto the field. He's just one of those crafty players that sees the game different. He's left-footed. He just understands the weight of passes, sees the runs that maybe not your normal midfielder will see. And you can see he's able to take on defenders, able to get assists, able to get goals. And I really like him as a player, and he's coming out this year.
23-year-old, started in 2019 with New York Red Bulls 2. 28 appearances with 2 assists coming into this season. That's between his time with Red Bull and the time he spent on the field last year for Hartford, which was not much. Only 10 appearances, 1 start, no goals, no assists. He is going to blow past every single one of those statistical categories this season, maybe even halfway through the season.
Yeah, definitely. Just needs to work a little bit on that celebration. Not really sure what that was, but hey, his first goal in USL, he deserves it.
For Mela, an Oakland team, and all of a sudden, it's facing some adversity for the first time in a few weeks. Barbier, flag stays down on his preferred left foot, drives it into Rodriguez, and it's a goal kick on the way.
And that's what Oakland needs to do, get out wide, get their crosses, get their chances, and if they can nip one before halftime, it'll be a huge confidence booster going into half.
They have not faced a 2-goal deficit since the opener against San Antonio. Went into halftime down 2-0. Second game down 1-0 against RGV, ended up tying it 1-1. Won their Open Cup game, never trailed. And they beat New Mexico 1-0, Indy 3-0. Haven't spent much time this season trailing, let alone by 2.
And if you're Oakland, you got to believe that you're going to get chances. You know Hartford's one of those teams that could give up a silly goal, so you got to keep working, keep running down balls, just creating your own luck, creating your own chances, and just finishing those chances when it comes.
Barbier. Rodriguez back for Barbier. More active tonight in the attack than I think we've ever seen him. Danny Barbier, a license to attack from his left center back position. Tamacas for Rodriguez. Graciano had to regather after a poor first touch. Diaz looking for Rodriguez, almost. And he's on that yellow. Remember, you said it's difficult for a forward to put yourself in a position like that, although you're usually okay. Running into the goalkeeper like that, the hand went up immediately in apology, knowing that he is under the radar right now of the referee.
I bet his heart dropped a little bit when he ran into that keeper.
Chested on to Diaz, and it bounces into the hands of Sanchez.
You can see Oakland waking up a little bit, realizing now 2-0. They need to get that first goal, cut that lead in half, and get going. Hopefully, finish some of these chances.
It's a weird scheduling quirk here for Oakland. This is their second of 5 games in a row against the Eastern Conference. Played against Indy last game, Loudoun next, and Birmingham and Miami on that list to round out the 5. And Delgado talked a bit about it, didn't read too much into it other than it's a weird scheduling quirk, but one thing he did mention is that you have to make sure not to switch off at some of these games. There's definitely a higher intensity for Western Conference games because they're all 6-point swings, and you don't have that here, but what you do have is a chance to stack points against Eastern Conference teams, so when you get back to those 6-point swing games in the Western Conference, you're doing so with a higher stack of points in your back pocket.
Yeah, definitely, and every game's as important as every game coming into it, but it is hard to get up for games that you know, like you said, are 6-point games. There are rivals that you're going to play against each other and everything.
Misplay on the bounce by Moran, brings Edwards in. Can they make it 3 in this first half? No, he cuts it back, and Moran wins it back after the mess he created. Rito continues his run. That's the run that Mafeka picks out. Formela's there to help. Rito stumbles, he's taken down. What color is the card? And is it a penalty or a free kick? It's gonna be a free kick, and the card's gonna be yellow, and Oakland doesn't agree with either of those decisions.
Yeah, and if I'm Oakland, I don't know. I think it's a PK, and obviously if it's a PK, it can't be a red card, but I think he's the last defender there, and it's a huge foul. Huge decision by the referee.
The contact comes there. I agree with no penalty.
Yeah,
Rito doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with no penalty. The foul comes from outside, and I think he's very lucky to get a yellow card there. But as we said before, it's a defender on a yellow now. You got Rito on the right. You got Mafeka on the right. They're going to have to go at Hodge, and Hodge has to be totally smart.
Almost looked like Formela got in his way as he came across there.
Yeah, I think Formela, they made the same run. If Formela can realize a little sooner, he can create that space in the middle where Rito will be able to play him first time into the middle, and then it's an easy finish for him.
Mafeka and Diaz always do this. They both stand over it. One the right-footed option, Diaz. Mafeka the left-footed option. From here, you'd expect the in-swinger from Mafeka. Hartford victimized by that last week against Charleston. In-swinging free kick that nobody touched, and it went in stoppage time for the 3-2 Charleston victory. It is Mafeka looking near post. It's loose in front. Now they're shouting for a penalty on a handball. So Oakland not very happy right now with Matthew Corrigan. We'll try to get another look at that when we can. But back-to-back penalty shouts from Oakland, and now a free kick coming for the Roots at midfield.
Yeah, and Hartford needs to pick up. I don't know if anybody else noticed that if Mafeka's raising his hand, the other guy's taking it. If I don't know who it was, Rito, if they're raising the hand, Mafeka's taking it. So it's little. Hartford needs to pay attention to those little cues, and they'll be able to read the ball better.
Diaz and Mafeka always over those.
The way the Oakland players were reacting, it possibly could have been a handball, as we couldn't see.
Happened bang, bang in the middle. Try to get you a look at it when we can. Given away again in the midfield by Oakland. Hartford looking to get out in transition. Sadie, can he burn past Tamacas right at the last moment? The El Salvador International clears it away.
And you can see Sadie's speed there, able to clear it at the last second, or else he gets that touch in, either a PK or it's a breakaway.
Edwards, he goes down. Play on, says Corrigan. Rodriguez slips it out to Rito. Every time he touches the ball, crowd comes to life for good reason. Still, Rito now going east to west with some options. Feeds it all the way across to Memo Diaz. Now to Joseph Nade. Tried to get the trailing run for Rodriguez to the penalty spot. Well defended by Hartford.
And if you're Hartford right now, you want to be smart. You want to go into halftime at a 2-0 or 3-0 lead. You don't want Oakland to be able to get that goal right before halftime and get that confidence going in and believing in themselves.
Oakland Roots and Anthem Blue Cross 2023 jerseys are here, and they're selling fast. Purchase your 2023 jersey by visiting shop.oaklandrootssc.com. It's a great jersey matchup tonight, by the way.
Yeah,
first time that I've seen these Hartford jerseys in action. Fades from that blue into the white. Look at us talking fashion on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I wore those last year and I loved them. The fade is nice except for the grass stains that you get.
Headline here, Cedeno looking for the spin cycle. Confidence off of his goal that he scored 10 minutes ago to make it 2-0. Into first half stoppage time now. 2 minutes tacked on. Donaciano gets by a lunging Cave Rod. Rodriguez trying to stay on side. Not enough on that pass from Donaciano. And the momentum of Rodriguez was coming inside as he tried to bend the run.
And that's where Hartford needs to be a little bit smarter. I mean, that's a throw-in 20 yards from the goal you're about to score, and it's almost a breakaway on the other side. They need to be smarter and just hold on to this lead at halftime.
Rodriguez. Tamacas. Play putting the body on the line by Edwards, flying through and blocking it. Oakland out shooting Hartford 6-4. But Hartford with 3 on target to Oakland's 1. And they've most importantly made 2 of those shots on target count. 4 minutes apart. Prince Sadie, Yesiel Cedeno. Oakland unhappy again with a call from Matthew Corrigan. That has become a theme here in this first half. They have to keep their cool and make sure that they don't let the frustrations get the better of them in a game they're already losing 2-0.
Yeah, you don't want the frustration already kick in. You got a whole another 45 minutes in the second half, and you got to believe that you'll be able to get one in, cut this lead in half, and then hopefully make a game in the last 40, 30 minutes. Hartford smart here, just taking their time, killing the first half, going into halftime at 2-0.
No reason to rush it. You've done all your hard work already here and have that 2-0 lead. One last chance here on the ball up the field. Graciano takes it. Looks like Corrigan will let one more attack play out here for Oakland. It's given away. Will that come back to bite them? Good step up defensively by McGlynn to Edwards. Back for McGlynn. Now Openo cutting in, taken down, free kick. We're past the 2 minutes, but Corrigan let it play out, and now Hartford will have a chance to make it 3 on the free kick.
Yeah, that counterattack was slowed down by a decision that Edwards made. Just play the ball into Hopeno's feet, and you got an easy cross right there. Unfortunate, but got lucky. Hopeno battled back, got the free kick, and hopefully can get a third right before half.
Probably not a shot from here unless somebody's really feeling themselves right now.
Yeah, I would think something about Danny Barrera serving it in, but it looks like Edwards is lining something up. But hey, this is the time to do it right before half. 2-0 up.
Got nothing to lose. Everything to gain.
Not sure about the gloves on 60-degree California weather coming from Hartford where it's freezing.
It is Edwards striking it. It's saved by the other man wearing gloves down that end of the field. Paul Blanchette punts it down the field as the whistle blows to end the half. Terrific first 45 for Hartford, taking a 2-0 lead into the break.
Yeah, if you're Hartford, you can't ask for anything more. You got to shut out in the first half. You got your 2 goals. You created chances. Could be a little bit more. Now it's just them learning to keep the lead, come into the second half, and be able to stop Oakland from scoring goals.
This Hartford team hasn't won yet this season, but much better than the record indicates. They might be on their way to one here. More to come as the Anthem halftime show is just around the corner.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, as long as you do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots teamed up and took on food insecurity, empowered all athletes to improve physical health, and expanded health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community, together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. We know kids aren't many adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids and only kids, which is why from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
If Damian Lillard accepted his spot at the end of the bench, he never would have been at the rec center before it opened. If he listened to those who overlooked him, he never would have heard his name called as a first-round pick. And if he let 6 all-star selections go to his head, he never would have had the heart to give back to the streets that shaped him. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
The mission of Fertile Groundworks is of teach, grow, give. Teach people how to grow food for themselves, grow it, and then give it away to people who need it. We grow about 25,000 pounds of food a year. We also operate something we call the Sustainable School Garden Program. Teachers ask us for help setting up a garden on their own campuses. East Bay Community Energy was nice enough to give us $2,500 that we were able to focus on one of our school gardens, and I'm truly grateful.
At the break here, Oakland Roots fans hoping for better times in the second half. First 45 belonged to Hartford. A 2-0 lead over the Roots. Halftime brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. I'll show you a game from earlier tonight that affects Hartford in the Eastern Conference. Loudoun United, last year they were a punching bag. A lot of young players couldn't really get it together. They're much different this year. 3-0 victory over Birmingham.
Yeah, definitely Loudoun last year being a young team, tough results they were dealing with, but this year they're looking like a brand new team. Beating Birmingham at home 3-0 is huge.
That was such a difficult finish by Leggett, getting up like that and heading it down. Here's Khalil Ahmedkar. He just goes right at the Birmingham back line. Nobody steps to him, and he beats the keeper.
Yeah, interesting right there. No defender stepping to him, but credit to him. He took advantage of it. Great finish with his left foot. And 2-0, there we go.
And from there, they just continued to control it. Added another one in the second half. Zach Ryan coming over from New York Red Bull 2. Slides this one in near post.
Oh, that's a forward finish right there. Set up the defender. Cut it between the legs for the keeper not to be ready. And luckily, it hits the post and goes in, but great setup by the defender and just putting it between his legs.
So that one finished 3-0 in favor of Loudoun. Now we take a look at the out-of-town scores brought to you by Visit Oakland. Get out on the town and visit Oakland to explore arts, culture, and world-class cuisine. That one stands out to you, the 3-0 win for Loudoun. Scoreless between Miami and Detroit, but the big one, Louisville beating San Antonio in a rematch of last year's final.
Yeah, definitely with Loudoun beating Birmingham 3-0, but Charleston Battery, again, winning away from home, 2-1, top of the league. That's what they're going to need to do throughout the year.
They've been outstanding this season. They're in first place for a good reason. Ben Peterman, the reigning coach of the month. We'll see what we got here in the second 45. Hartford up 2-0 right now on the Oakland Roots.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, as long as you do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots teamed up and took on food insecurity, empowered all athletes to improve physical health, and expanded health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community, together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
First goal came in the 31st minute for Prince Sadie. The second came 4 minutes later for Jesse Cedeno, adding up to a 2-0 lead for Hartford Athletic over the Oakland Roots through 45 minutes. But for now, we'll step aside from this one and take a look at some news and notes around USL Championship. Big news around the league, and we're going to see it coming into the next week. Josh Winder called up to the U.S. men's national team. Corey, you've been in and around this league for a long time. What does it mean to see a player like Winder step up and get that call, 17 years old, for Louisville?
Yeah, it's huge for the league in USL and all the players that play in this league that want to make that step. And now that someone has done it, they can believe in that step too. You don't always have to be in the MLS to make that step. And it's a huge, it's just huge for the team and huge for the league.
Absolutely, and he's got them right now in second place in the Eastern Conference. Louisville in the West, it's very tight at the top. 3 teams right now on 11. Sacramento playing later. They could change that. The West is loaded, and we were talking a bit about it off the air coming into the day and into the week. There are 4 teams that are not going to make the playoffs. It's anybody's guess at who those 4 teams are going to be because everybody is so tight. It's loaded in the Western Conference. It's loaded in all of USL Championship. Second 45 on the way. Hartford looking for their first win of the season. A 2-0 up over the Oakland Roots.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. We know kids aren't many adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids and only kids, which is why from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
Wouldn't it be great to have delicious, healthy meals delivered right to your door? No planning, shopping, or prepping. And what if your delivery was full of plant-based, fresh ingredients that truly nourish and fuel your body? Try Thistle. Our in-house chefs create a new menu each week for you to choose from before it arrives ready to eat. No prep needed. And for a limited time, you can save $100 off your first 4 weeks. So go ahead and autopilot your diet. Get started today at jointhistle.com.
My name is Ed, and I live in San Leandro, California. I've always been concerned about being prepared. And being on a medical baseline where I have a CPAP machine, I was wondering, will I be able to keep that thing going? I got an email from East Bay Community Energy, and they mentioned a rebate about getting an electrical generator. So I went for it. East Bay Community Energy has been great. They're doing a job to help our environment, and I think they're really supportive.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross, UCSF, and Modelo. Take a look at highlights from half number 1, brought to you by UCSF Health. Corey, in the first 5-10 minutes of this game, it was just end-to-end nonstop action between Hartford and Oakland.
Yeah, and I think this is a huge opportunity for Oakland to get that early lead and put Hartford on the back heels in that. But I think this was what gave Hartford a little bit of confidence coming in, and great save by Sanchez to keep his game at 0-0.
Sanchez, one of a couple of players in the Hartford starting 11, coming back home to California for this one, putting on a show with a couple of big saves in that first half. Barbier, you don't see him line one up from distance that often, but I talked about it with that green patch of the relayed turf in front of the net, kind of like a runway for the ball, guiding it into the goal. You try to do that from distance, see if you can get the right bounce. Barbier didn't get it there. 31st minute, that's when Hartford was able to finally break through.
Yeah, and I think Hopono might have picked the wrong pass here, but when you're scoring goals and the ball's finding you, that's what's going to happen with Sadie here.
4th goal of the season. They started all 6 games now. Broke out last year for this Hartford team with 4 goals and 8 assists after having just 2 goals, 7 assists in the 2 prior seasons combined with Miami and Phoenix. He's on his way to a big year. And he's, like you said, just popping up in the right places, right times as a goal scorer. That's when you know it's clicking. Didn't take too much longer. A couple minutes later, Jessiel Cedeno helps them make it a 2-0 lead. But first, there was one more chance for Sadie, who was confident at that point.
Yeah, and you want him to have this confidence to take on the defender. I think he made the right decision here. He has Cedeno on the left side, but he put the defender on skates and then almost finished it there.
That was in the 33rd minute, part of just an onslaught in that 5-minute window from Hartford. They had the goal in the 31st. They had the goal in the 35th. They had a couple of other chances building there around it, and here Cedeno just takes it through himself, passes it to the far corner, 2-0.
And you can see with the quick trigger, he just shoots it with his left foot so quick, the keeper's not even ready, not even reacting. And it's a great little touch here to get by. Got lucky with that touch, but it's a quick trigger that sets it up, and the keeper can't react, and it makes it 2-0.
Cedeno, a great story we touched on in that first half. Tab Ramos was honest with him. They only kept him at the end of last season to just give some depth, but with the opportunity to grow into a role, he surprised everybody, earned that role, and now making the absolute most of it. Stats from half number 1, Oakland controlled a good portion of it, but Hartford found their wind around the half-hour mark and made it count where it matters most in the goals column.
Yeah, and Oakland really need to focus on getting their shots on target and finishing those chances, because in the 5th minute, they had that chance to make it 1-0. Unfortunately, well, for Hartford, Sanchez saved it, but unfortunately for Oakland, kept it at 0-0.
This has been your halftime show brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. Well, for Oakland to get back into this now in the second half, what's the message from Noah Delgado? Because like you said, there were so many things that still went right for them in that first half. Just a matter of not having the finish when the opportunities were there.
Yeah, it's just believing. I mean, as they scouted Hartford this week, they probably know Hartford's going to give up some goals. They got to believe that. If they get 1, maybe they can get 2, maybe 3, and see what happens. And for Hartford, it's keeping them out of the net, trying to keep that win, keep that shutout for Sanchez, who saved you in the 5th minute.
Hartford from right to left in the blue fading to white, and Oakland left to right in the all black. Referee Matthew Corrigan in the yellow, ready to get us going here in half number 2. Alongside Corey Herzog, 4th all-time leading scorer in USL Championship. I'm Joe Malfa, happy to have you with us for the rest of this one from Pioneer Stadium on the campus of Cal State University East Bay. 2-0 lead for Hartford, 45 minutes away from their first win of the season. Oakland won't make it easy, trying to keep their unbeaten streak alive. It's at 4 matches in all competitions. And we're underway in half number 2. Started the season with a loss against San Antonio. Always a tough task on the road against the reigning champs in the opener. Tie against RGV, Open Cup win, and then wins over New Mexico, and then Indy 11. So 4 unbeaten after the season opening loss. For Hartford, they're not in a bad spot because of the way the rest of the Eastern Conference has gone so far. Look out, dangerous pass on the back end. Now, Ramos mentioned that they're not going to take solace in the fact that they're still close to the playoff line because the rest of the conference has struggled to pick up points. But at the end of the day, they are still near there despite the slow start. Here's Denaciano to Rodriguez. Touch takes him away from goal. Now Mafeka on the left foot, slips underneath, back to Rodriguez, and it's blocked out to Rito. Rito to Rodriguez, hesitant, chips it, backside, flicked away. Out for a corner. That's a great buzzing start for Oakland to begin the half.
And that's what you want to see as Oakland fans and the Oakland coach. You just want to see your team just trying to create those chances, get that confidence, and 1 minute in, they're already looking good.
Corner brought to you by East Bay Community Energy, providing green power at low rates. Visit ebce.org to find out more. As you said, when the person raises their hand, it's the other one. Is that it?
That's what I noticed in the first, unless they're listening to me in the first half.
Well, we'll take this one short, so they don't got to do it at all. Diaz from a better angle whips it in. Doesn't get it past that first line of defense. Denaciano puts a charge into it, and it's blocked. Keep an eye on that as the half goes along. Any free kick or corner taken long. As you pointed out, first half, whoever raises their hand, it's the other guy taking it. Perhaps a tell on the free kicks. And Hartford maybe picks up on Barbier. Back to Formella. Headed away by Hodge, who's on a yellow card. The only player with a yellow on the Hartford side. It's Johnny Rodriguez with one on the Oakland side. Balls for Jojo Nane. Lindo Mafeka. Mafeka takes it back, picks the pocket. Mafeka on his preferred left foot. It's Memo Diaz. Mafeka again, it's blocked. First 3 minutes of this half have been played in the attacking third for Oakland. They got the message at halftime from Noah Delgado.
Yeah, that halftime speech must have been a doozy. I mean, you're coming out here with all this firepower and energy. You need one in the first 5-10 minutes to be able to cut that lead in half. And Oakland's on the way right now, creating those chances and hopefully going to finish one of them.
Took a deflection off of Rito. A chance here for Barrera. And that's a veteran move. Oakland just starting the half fast, pick it up, throw it behind you, walk it away. Now a player down on the back end that'll really help stymie the rhythm that Oakland found in the first couple of minutes here. But of course the concern for Kyle Lowe pointing to his head, the goalkeeper Richard Sanchez.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there, but Oakland coming out on fire. Hartford just needs to get through these first 10-15 minutes, weather the storm, hopefully keep a shutout on that board and just get through the next 15 minutes.
Started going down that path. The comments of Tab Ramos about the standings right now. At the end of the day, it is in a way a silver lining, but it's too early to really look at the table or take any solace in the fact that even though they've struggled, they're only a couple of points out of a playoff spot. Said for us, it's going to come down to an honest self-evaluation after every match. Are we improving? Are we on the right trajectory? Are we finally picking up points and getting healthy? That's the focus, but there is nothing, sorry, rather there's something to be said about the table where it is right now. It gives some hope that if they can weather the storm, get healthy 4 or 5 weeks from now, they can really go on a run in the summer months. Believe they're building something special right now at Hartford. And it was McGlynn, pardon me, not Kyle Lowe down. Initially, Richard Sanchez came in and pointed to his head as if it were a head injury, showing concern for his teammate, but now McGlynn looking at that right leg as he flexes it.
Yeah, I wonder if Sanchez is just being that veteran, trying to keep the guys, keep their head focused, keep in between those first 15 minutes to get through that storm, because as you saw, the first 2 minutes was just Oakland letting it go.
McGlynn struggling to put weight on that right foot. 25-year-old from Middle Village, New York. College days at Siena, 2016 to 2019. Been with Hartford since 2020. Big year in 2022. in 2021 at 5 goals and 2 assists in 29 games. Last year was down to a goal and an assist, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue. Hate to see that, especially so early in this second half for a team that has been dealing with so many injuries already.
Yeah, interesting sub here with Pollen coming on, who's normally a left back, and Connor being a midfielder. So you'll see a formation change here. Not sure exactly what's going to happen, if he's going to go on the wing and maybe Hopino coming in, or Sheldon maybe coming into the midfield, but we'll see in a little bit what the formation tweak is here.
Pollen out on that left wing, so to your point, maybe it is Hopino sliding inside. Asher Pollen, 32-year-old. With Hartford now since 2021. For Pollen, second appearance of the season. Other one was a start. First time coming in off the bench. Capped with the Haitian senior national time as recently as last June in CONCACAF Nations League. Did not make the squad for the most recent window of action in March. Hopes to possibly be in the mix, of course, for the Gold Cup this summer. And then Nations League beyond that later this year in September and November. That's some of the talent and depth this Hartford team possesses. Guys who are playing for their senior national teams, whether it's Pollen or starting tonight off the bench, Kyle Edwards stepping in for an injured Elvis Amo. You could say what you want about the level. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they're a lower seeded team within CONCACAF in Nations League, but still a senior national team. He's still out there against Nicaragua on the road scoring goals. Anytime you have that experience, it's going to do wonders for players' confidence and growth as they continue on in this league.
Definitely, 100%. Just being able to say you play for your national team, it's a huge confidence boost. And it's just one of those not many players get to do. So it's pretty cool. And to have him come off the bench just means your side on the bench is even deeper than most squads.
I believe they have the talent depth. The thing they don't have is the quantity right now because of the injuries. So you don't want to dip into it too much, but it is nice to have that sort of talent coming in at a moment's notice. The squad was on the smaller side in terms of the numbers coming in. And now it's numbers for Oakland. Rodriguez, the early ball to Formella, who gets there. Darek Formella takes it end line, options in front, save made by Sanchez on the surprise shot with the left foot by Formella.
Yeah, and as Oakland, we said, they're getting in behind, they're getting the defenders of Hartford facing their own goal, and that's when it's dangerous. You got the defenders chasing to their own goal. Anything can happen. If he can cut that back a little more, he's got 3 players as an option in there.
I wonder if his intention was to shoot or he just didn't get the hip all the way around on the cross, because that was going in if Sanchez didn't get a hand to it, but didn't look like that was his intent. He was peeking back at the players in the middle.
Yeah, probably couldn't get his hips around, took that big touch.
Diaz hands up. Mafeka takes it. There you go. Your tell continues. Punched away by Sanchez through the traffic. And a foul against Oakland before it got out to Murad.
Yeah, Rodriguez needs to be careful there, jumping into the keeper way before the ball was anywhere near him.
Did that in the first half after he was already on a yellow, so he's got to be on the radar. Matthew Corrigan, and at what point does Oakland maybe bring in Anwar Pelaez? There's been their start of the last couple of games with Rodriguez coming in off the bench and scoring off the bench. They switch it up tonight and start Rodriguez. Here is Johnny Rodriguez, taken down from behind. Cedeno claiming he got the ball. Picked it up afterwards, but didn't necessarily win it in the challenge.
Yeah, you can get the ball, but you can't get the player from behind too, so.
Rito's been really quiet to begin this half. That could change at any point. It's sent his way on the right side, and he earns a corner. And all it takes is one ball his way.
And that's one thing that Apollin's going to give you on that side with Rito is Apollin, last year I played with him. He's one of the fastest on the team. He's one of the most athletic on the team. He's going to be able to keep up with Rito.
Take this one short and quick to Donaciano. Now Mafeka. Memo Diaz. Right to Sanchez.
And that's not a bad ball. You need one of your runners to get across the near post, get across the keeper, because if he just gets a little touch on there, it's an easy finish.
Next game for the Roots is next Sunday on the road against Loudoun. Next home game, April 29th against Miami FC at 7 p.m. local time at Cal State East Bay. Secure your tickets by calling 510-488-1144 or visiting OaklandRootsSC.com. Let's look at their upcoming schedule. It's played through now. Mercedes.
It's a great tackle. It's hard to keep up with Sadie when he's in the open space. Smart, great tackle by him.
Paulin back. And Blanchette is there. Donaciano, a nice turn, pass Opino. Outlet over the top. Sanchez comes out to get it. Good thing he did because no defender was getting there before Dark Formella would have.
Root fans get guaranteed access to every home game with the lowest price for the 2023 Oakland Roots membership.
Formella.
To learn more about the benefits of membership, just contact us at
Fernane threw again to Formella, wasn't ready for it. And the offside flag came up anyway. They continue their tour of the Eastern Conference coming up. The Oakland Roots next Sunday, Loudoun United. And then that home game against Miami. Tough one on the road against Birmingham. They alternate home and road, home and road. Big one is the 20th. That's the big rivalry game against Sac Republic. And that's going to be a couple of weeks after Oakland and Sacramento meet in Open Cup play. So there could be extra heat for that edition of the rivalry in Northern California. It's already becoming one of the best rivalries, if not the best, in USL Championship. Some of the other rivalries that were held in that esteem have cooled off the last couple of years, maybe because one side or the other hasn't been as successful. You look at the Indy-Louisville rivalry. Indy has been on the downswing. Louisville has still been dominant, so it hasn't been much of a rivalry.
Yeah, one of my favorite rivalries when I was playing was Reno-Sacramento. Hour-and-a-half drive between two cities, two good teams that always made playoffs. That was a fun one.
And of course, as that one goes away with Reno, in comes Oakland to take that same nearby, except even closer than Reno was, now just on the other side of the bay. And Monterey Bay joined it too. All three of those teams sort of form a Bermuda Triangle in Northern California. Gotta get a trophy between those three teams.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Think of it in the MLS context of the Cascadia rivalry, Vancouver, Portland, Seattle.
Yeah, when I was playing for Vancouver back then, we won that.
Little things that make you smile this season, keep you going, rivalry games.
I think it was one of the only trophies I won.
Formella spins out from the danger. Diaz for Donaciano. Back to Formella, good build up here. Dark Formella settles on the right foot. Formella, it's blocked. Looking for it was Rodriguez, but it's cleared.
You can see Oakland getting closer and closer each time, and confidence is brewing.
Rito in space. Plays it simple to Mafeka. Mafeka, contact there as Formella goes down. Not enough for a penalty. And cleared. Closer to the hour mark now. Oakland has had the pressure here in this half. They haven't made a count. At what point, however, does Hartford find a counterpunch here in transition where they've been lethal tonight?
Yeah, the next goal in this game is major. If Oakland get it, cut the lead in half. If Hartford get it, that might be saying goodnight to Oakland at 3-0.
These are some of the games where you just get the feel that if the next goal goes to Oakland, Oakland's at least tying this game. Of course, if Hartford gets it, lights out.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Oakland can score between 60 to 70th minute, we're going to have a game here, and I for sure think they would be able to tie it up if they get that momentum, because the last 15, 20 minutes has been unbelievable by Oakland, just not the finishing piece yet.
All right, so as we pointed out a couple times now, you notice the tail in the first half. Whoever raises the hand, other guy takes it. Mafeka just raised his hand. Diaz standing over it. It is Diaz again, driving it top of the six, headed away. Now Lowe got his head to it, punched away by Sanchez, but to Mafeka. Has to take it back, however. Diaz. Did it skim off the head? Yes, it did. Of Juan Opino. Pardon me. On the back end there.
Somebody
It
from
was
Hartford.
low.
Somebody from Hartford should be contacting them down there, telling them the little secret of the free kicks.
Tell you what, if Oakland fans are tuning in, reach out on Twitter, see if admin wants to get in the coach's ear. Denaciano off the short corner, took his eye off of it, kept it alive to Rito. Opportunity wasted on the corner. And they get another one. Wow, thought that the foul would be called against Denaciano. Instead he earns a corner. Hopino felt the same way.
I think I felt the same way because you knew what he was doing from the first thing. Once he got that touch behind his back, he was going down, but I think the ref knew exactly what was happening and didn't want to call that soft foul. Here we go again with the corner kick specialist.
Taking it a few times short. Corner tally has risen dramatically. This is the 10th corner of the night for the Oakland Roots, and nothing to show for it. Ball also not on the corner arc right now. The assistant referee just spotted that, trying to get them to move it back. There you go. Lefeka sends this one backside of the 6, headed away by Edwards. Formella, secondary ball in, headed away by Rod. Terrific group defending by Hartford on all of these balls from out wide. That is a throw-in. Came out the near side of the corner flag after it hit the flag. And change here for Hartford, their second sub now. Jonathan Felipe coming in for Antoine Opino.
Now coming on returning,
I think with the injury from McGlynn, Opino moving into the midfield, I think Ramos is just trying to get a natural midfielder in there. Unfortunate for Opino coming out.
Jonathan Philippe comes in, third appearance of the season, all off the bench. 24-year-old from Danbury, Connecticut. See what Philippe can do in the role of Antoine Opino.
You see Opino a little frustrated coming out, doesn't want to come out. Trying to get his team his first win. Veteran on the field, doesn't want to come out. Love to see it.
Won't get the assist, but helped create the first goal. Now played over the top. And Formella comes all the way through to Rito. Driven ball low. There's that ball from Opino that was knocked back by the defender of Oakland into the path of Sadie, who just had to tap it home then.
Yeah, Opino had a good night. Maybe not finding the most of the ball into space and everything, but he did create that first goal to get his team the lead in the 31st minute.
Jonathan Philippe going to get more run tonight than he has all season. Those two previous appearances off the bench only tallied up to 26 minutes for him. Well, eclipse that in this appearance alone. Almost powered through to get on the end of that through ball from Prince Sadie. Philippe, another one of those cast-offs from New York Red Bulls 2 from last season. We've seen that pop up whether in this Hartford roster or in other rosters around the league. Loudon dipped in their pool of New York Red Bulls 2 cast-offs. Philippe, 21 starts, 32 appearances, a couple of goals, 1 assist for Red Bull 2 last year. A stranger to this league. At halftime, we saw Zach Ryan score the goal for Loudon. He was part of that team last year.
A lot of good players coming out of New York Red Bulls.
Like who?
I think you brought something up when you were 10 years old.
I did. Tonight coming in, I brought up the point to you. You start there. I was a 10, 11-year-old kid with season tickets, watching you make your debut, and now here we are. Made you feel old.
Not too old.
As they went to MLS Next Pro, there were a lot of players who were older, while Red Bull 2 looked to skew younger in Next Pro. That then latched on with other USL Championship teams. We saw a similar thing happen a couple of years ago. Rodriguez wins it at the end line. Overhead kick here to Mafeka, and one back by Hartford. Saw it a couple of off seasons ago. SKC2 they went to MLS Next Pro. Wilson Harris, Inak Mushagalusa, these guys show up elsewhere. They go to Louisville, combined for almost 30 goals for Louisville last year. So those are some cast-offs who keep an eye on them this year. They'll pop up in some big spots.
Yeah, definitely some great players coming out of those teams that teams are getting lucky to pounce on. Another dangerous free kick here. Wonder what they're going to do with the raising of the hands.
Eduardo Rito, another player, New York Red Bulls too, a couple of years ago before he ended up in Oakland. They have a clear-cut idea of what they're doing in MLS, the Red Bulls, going younger, look at the homegrowns, and they want their MLS Next Pro team to be just that, a lot of academy kids. So, these veterans still need a home somewhere. Mafeka and Diaz once again standing over it. Diaz vacates this time. It'll have to be Mafeka. Slips it through over the bar. Tamakas falling on the volley. And a chance for a big moment.
He went for the spectacular there. I think maybe he could have let that just come down and have an easy finish, but he's gone for the whole thing. I mean, if he leaves that just drop a little farther, use the inside of your foot, it's 2-1 right now going into the 67th minute.
He's still upset about it as he enters back to his defensive position. We do see that sub now on the Oakland side that we talked about a bit earlier. Anwar Pelaez comes in for Johnny Rodriguez. Kyle Edwards not alone anymore. Pelaez came in wearing the same gloves.
Yeah, I'm not sure, 60-degree weather, you get some gloves.
Hey, you're coming from the Northeast, Penn State, New York Red Bulls, Vancouver, in the Pacific Northwest, Hartford, Omaha last year. You've been in a lot of cold weather places. It's easy for you to say.
Definitely. That's why I'm down here in Florida.
Denaciano down the left wing, Darek Formella. Closing in, Formella trying to slip it through for Pelaez. And cleared. Nane. Rito overlap there from Tamakas. He centers it, and it's wide from Formella. Trying to claim it, took a deflection, and is out for a corner. They win the argument. Their 12th corner of the match coming.
I think Lindo's won that argument for the ref with that sprint straight over to the corner. Not many people knew what the call was.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Sometimes the players do the refereeing their own. You can tell from the body language which way the call is going to go. Whether the referee should buy into that and let them dictate that, it's a different argument for a different day, but they're going to have another corner here. Over the top from Mafeka. They're struggling to get anything out of these corners tonight. All it's going to take now is one counter, well executed from Hartford, to put this game to bed. You said for Oakland you'd like that goal between 60 and 70, so they have enough time with the momentum to get back into this. Only got 2 minutes left in that window.
Yeah, but just like Hartford scored 2 goals in 5 minutes, Oakland has that power to be able to do that. They just need to get the first one.
Denaciano forces a turnover here. Formella evades one defender. Now gets it ahead to Pelaez. Anwar Pelaez is out for a throw. Noah Delgado had a lot of praise for Pelaez this week. Said that it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet for him. He does so well drawing players out of position, creating the space in behind for Darek Formella, Lindo Mafeka to run in behind. They both scored last week. Also generates that space for Rito. He scored last week. Pelaez watches this one now sailing in the hands of Sanchez. And they said it goes all the way back to last season for Pelaez. They get him in an off-season deal coming over from CDS Hermanos Comunares in Colombia. And his striker partner last year had nearly 20 goals. And as they went back and reviewed film to bring in Pelaez, they said a good portion of those were because of the space created by Pelaez. The other guy got sold for a lot more than Pelaez got sold for. They were happy to bring in Pelaez, and he's done the same thing now, where even if it doesn't show up in the score sheet, he's helping create goals for other players.
And that just means you're a good forward, and you understand the game on a different level. You know that your movement can now open space up and create better opportunities for your team, and you gotta love to see that. And hopefully he's gonna be able to do something here in the next 20 minutes.
Apologies from Pelias here to Mafeka after that errant pass. He's a big body target too in the air as they start maybe looking more direct, although that hasn't worked out for them tonight on free kicks or corners.
And you're going to see Hartford now trying to kill the game with 20 minutes left. Every little thing, they're going to take their time.
Here's Pelias slipping it through from Mafeka. Referee wise to not play the advantage. It didn't materialize. Free kick coming here. Right at the edge of the area. Yellow card out of the pocket as well. It's given to Cedeno.
I think it's a smart yellow. I think it's a very smart yellow by Cedeno. If he doesn't pull him down there, don't know what's going to happen. He could play Lindo in or get in by himself.
He didn't seem too upset about it. Cedeno knew exactly what he did, and to your point, a wise one to take. This is a tough spot, but a good spot. So close to the box, have to get this up and over the wall, but down under the bar, not easy. For Mela and Mafeka, both standing over it.
Love to see Mafeka take this. He's hit a couple of these at Reno when I was playing with him 2-3 years ago.
Formella, no stranger to it either. In the first ever Sacramento-Oakland rivalry game, the first ever goal scored in that rivalry, a Formella direct free kick. He takes it himself here, but right at Sanchez. And out for a corner. Claim of a handball here from Oakland. Did they get the call? Yes, a yellow card given to Edwards for intentional handball, and a penalty coming for Oakland. Lifeline for the Roots. Looks like Joseph Nane wants to take it, but now he'll leave it for Derek Formella. Oh, they hit the wrong guy. Gave it to Edwards, but it was Hodge. And that's big because Hodge has a yellow already. So Oakland's trying to dictate that it should have been Hodge.
Yeah, that would be his second yellow, red card, and a PK.
That would change everything. He's got it totally wrong.
He needs to stop complaining and take this yellow.
A yellow card was issued in the 72nd minute.
Wow, Hodge is a lucky man. He better leave this stadium and buy a lottery ticket. It was clearly Hodge on the wall who had the chicken wing for the yellow card on the handball. And like you said, Edwards got to stop arguing because otherwise they'd be down a man right now. But a chance for Oakland to bring one back. Derek Formella will take it. Scored last week against Indy, had an assist as well. Oakland feels they should also be up a man right now, but they'll at least take the goal back if Formella can convert. Or will Sanchez come up big in goal for Hartford Athletic? Made one big stop in the first half. Formella just waiting for the whistle. There it is. Formella against Sanchez. Derek Formella tucks it away. Oakland has life here in the 74th minute.
Great composed finish from Formella. Not feeling the butterflies. Puts it in the back of the net, makes the keeper go the wrong way. Great PK by the veteran forward. And now, this is what we were talking about. Can Oakland get that chance? Can they get that goal? And what do we say? If they get the one, we think they're going to come in for the second. Get that tie going.
Be a heck of a lot easier to get that second if they were up a man right now. Eddie Barrera subbed off for Luke Merrill.
Yeah, we got Hartford got lucky with that yellow card from Edwards. Should have been Hodge, should have been a red card. Should be down a man. 2-1 down a man. He got an exciting 15 minutes.
And that goal by the Oakland Roots is a $510 donation to Oakland Parks and Rec Foundation, brought to you by East Bay Community Energy. OPRF provides financial and volunteer resources and advocates for recreation programs and parks in Oakland.
We're gonna learn a lot about Hartford right now, and also a lot about Oakland being able to come back. Is Hartford gonna be able to keep the lead, or is Oakland gonna be able to come back, eventually tie this game, or maybe even win the game?
Understand no VAR and referee referees are human, but that is a big one to miss.
Especially when both are standing on total opposite sides of the wall. Hodge on one side.
If they were right next to each other and it passed between them, I could buy it.
Yeah.
But Edwards, like you said, opposite side of the wall, not even close to where the ball ended up. And another free kick coming now for Oakland down the right wing.
And I think Hodge might have not even been in the wall. So it's even obvious that it was Hodge.
They take it quickly. Rito in front. Nobody making the back post run. They caught the Hartford back line by surprise, but unfortunately for them, it seemed like they caught their teammates by surprise. Now Barbier whips it in. Pressure mounting for Oakland after getting the one. Like you said, that next one might be quickly in tow. Hartford scored 4 minutes apart in the first half. Rito. And given away by Tamakas. Oakland Roots fans, get your Fam 4-pack available starting at $94 for 4 tickets and 4 drinks. Call 510-488-1144 or visit oaklandrootssc.com for more information. Through the middle from Sanchez, that's dangerous. Mafeko wins it, then Asiano carries it. Here's Joseph Nane to Palais.
He's got to do better there with that first touch. Try to hold it up for your team. No, it caught him off guard. But he's got to do better, be able to tie his team in, get it to the midfield with your back to goal.
Rito, first touch, not there, but he keeps it in with the speed. Does well to keep possession on the throw.
He just focused on that first touch, taking it towards goal. He's got Pollen beat. If he can just take it, it's either he's going to take him down or he's in on goal.
Oakland up to 14 shots, but only 2 on target. They do, however, a lofty expected goals tally, 2.06. Hartford's only 0.71, but those are only expected goals. Actual goals, 2-1 in Hartford's favor, and that's where points are won and lost. They took their chances when they were there in the first half. Now can they hold on?
Oakland needs to understand they still have 13, 14 minutes. They don't need to score in the next 2 to 3 minutes, but obviously if you can, it'll be great, but they have 13, 14 minutes to get that tying goal.
One last update from around the league when we get to the close of this one. Orange County up 1-0, dozen minutes remaining over Indy 11. New Mexico, San Diego finished in a 1-1 draw. Memphis, Las Vegas still 2-2 in a weather delay. Just past halftime, scoreless between Phoenix and Monterey Bay. And then in the first half, a 1-0 lead for Sacramento Republic over Colorado Springs. It was Russell Cicerone in the 8th minute getting the goal. And that's after a brace against Louisville to begin the month, a brace in Open Cup against Crossfire Premier. And he has another one to his tally, off to a terrific start with his new club. Denaciano splits 2 defenders. Back to Mafeka. Formella spots the run of Diaz around the left side, outside of the boot, cross toward the far post, over everything.
Just one of those times where you need to take it with your left foot. You don't need to do the tricky outside of the right boot. Just be able to cross that across the middle of the goal. You got your players charging in on the 6. Just a simple cross there, it could be 2-2.
So 11 minutes to go plus stoppage time. We've only seen 1 substitution used so far by Noah Delgado. Hartford has used 3 subs, so they would typically have 2 remaining, but they used them in 3 different windows. They didn't double up any of their changes, so they're done. We'll go to the end of this one with 2 subs unused. But Oakland, last year, Noah Delgado started to gain a reputation for this. Not a very quick trigger on the substitutions, despite having 5, of course, with the new rules. content to just let it play out if he likes what he's seeing. And nobody is maxing out on their red lines and all the trackers worn by the players.
And to be fair, you gotta like what you see in this second half from Oakland. A lot of chances, a lot of stuff created. Just need to get that one more to get the tie.
Sheldon puts it wide of Sadie. It's been a bit of an invisible man here in this second half. That's because there hasn't been much possession or service. Not a single shot in this half for Hartford, and they only have 20% of the possession in the second half. It's been a tale of two halves, but it's really a tale of 5 minutes because Hartford scored twice in a 5-minute span in the first half, and they're clinging now to that lead just barely. Dark Formella, 73rd minute officially, the penalty was scored. Oakland felt they should have been up a man at that point as well, and they should have. There's no mistaking it. Intentional handball, chicken winging out that arm, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's interesting from him to be able to do that knowing you're on a yellow.
It's just, I guess, instinct takes over. Tristan Hodge was on the right side of that wall.
Maybe.
Edwards was on the left side of that wall. So again, how that was confused. Two players on opposite sides of the wall. Hartford gets away with one.
And even the sideline ref missing it too.
How different might this look if Oakland had been up a man the last 10 minutes, in addition to just down one goal? Although it's felt like they're playing up a man anyway with how much time they've had on the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Hartford needs to buckle it down here in the last 10 minutes.
And they find one against a run of play here. Edwards dipping in front of Blanchette, makes his first save of the second half. No pause for a second while Donaciano is slow to get to his feet. Now the referee stops play. Donaciano went down. Did the referee spot what he thought was a head injury? That's what he's signaling. Oakland was ready to play. Edwards walked away from it. Donaciano walked away from it, but Matthew Corrigan claims he saw a clash of the heads and wants Cedeno to come off the field. Cedeno and Mafeka. Long for Rito. It was misjudged entirely by Apollon. Rito slips it through, working headline, taken down, waved off by Corrigan. Roots bench is irate. Rito thought he wanted a penalty.
To be fair, I thought it was a penalty. Rito does unbelievable on the end line.
Now Tamakas drives it in. It's a weird carom off the foot of Hodge. It drops for a moment for Pelaez before it was cleared. Tamakas. Hartford on the short end of the stick, late on against Charleston last week. Heartbreaker, stoppage time. They could see the goal to lose it 3-2. Will they be able to see this one through for the 3 points?
I think the ref has lost his whistle here.
Letting him play. Tamakas through on the turn. Rito plays it right into his defender. Rito now taking end line again to the backside. Diaz there. Charleston is starting to get a reputation for that late goal, though. Scored the late winner. End of the game, Augie Williams from 35 yards out to beat Tampa Bay in the midweek. And they won again today on the road against Tulsa.
What a finish that was late in Tampa. Bended around the keeper. Played with him in San Diego. Me and him had a good partnership for a couple games.
Murad. Mafeka slips it through in behind Pelaez, takes it around the keeper, goes down, and it's cleared away. Throw-in coming for the Roots. Don't know if there was enough contact that time for a penalty. Two changes coming now for Oakland. Nabil Hackshaw on his way into the match, as is Kevin Wright.
It looks like, again, two runners making the same run, getting in each other's way like the first half with Formella and Rito. So unfortunately, running into each other, but good chance for Oakland right there. It's going to be a decent amount of stoppage time, I think, coming into this, so Oakland has time to get back into this game.
Wright comes in at left back for Memo Diaz. Hackshaw comes in the holding midfield for Jojo Nane. Testament to the depth of this Oakland team, bringing in another international in Hackshaw for Trinidad and Tobago off the bench. Another big acquisition in the offseason. So is Kevin Wright, very high on him. They think he has the same skill set as Eduardo Rito, but on the left side to give them the 1-2 punch left and right. Dangerous play as Lowe got in the way of it with Sanchez coming out, and Sanchez left clasping his head. Caught a boot to the face, it looked like, from his teammate.
Not sure how much intent was in there, but as a veteran, staying down, wasting some time.
As you said, likely a lofty stoppage time number coming anyway from what we've seen here in this half, and this will only add to it. Have to imagine it might have been at 4 or 5 already.
My guess is going to be 6.
Sounds about right. Injuries, penalty, we saw plenty of stoppages in this half. Oakland had a knack for the late goals last year. It seemed every week they were either tying a game or winning a game in the last few minutes. A clean look at the left boot maybe. Oh, Pelaez actually in the end. So he got it first from his teammate Logan. Pelaez in the end, as he tried to come through. At least got a little knock on there. Got to your point, whether this is all because of that or just veteran move by a veteran goalkeeper, Richard Sanchez, but it was certainly contact. Matthew Corrigan wondering where Pelaez thought he was going. It's going to be a drop ball into the hands of the keeper. Looks like Pelaez wanted to come in and do an old-fashioned contested drop ball there.
Would be interesting if he could pick it up while he's coming in with his cleat.
That is a recipe for somebody to get injured, and that's why those contested drop balls probably don't happen all that much anymore, if ever. It's not outlawed, technically. It's just players have given up on it. Why bother? Carried ahead by Danny Barbier. Time wearing thin for Oakland to keep their unbeaten run alive. Lost the opener to San Antonio. Since then, 3 wins and a draw in all competitions. Hartford opens the season winless, 3 losses and 2 draws. Picked up a win, however, in Open Cup. They have won in 2023, just not yet in USL play. Could just be minutes away from doing that for the first time. And what a result that would be to come to the West Coast to beat Oakland, who are in good form. Maybe a chance here in transition to put this away. Could be a 3-on-1. Edwards overran it, gets it to Sadie anyway, sprawling out. Murad gets a piece of it. Seemed promising, and just like that, the attack was dead.
You're gonna remember that as a Hartford fan if Oakland comes in and gets that tying goal, because it's a 3-on-1. Edwards needs to do better there. Get the ball under control, take on the defender, make the defender make a decision. Step to you or keep dribbling on. He's made the wrong decision there.
Darek Formella squares it back. Just ahead of Kevin Wright. Nice turn by Sadie. Graciano was going to commit the foul there. Oregon played advantage. It never really materialized, but enough so to not bring it back for a free kick. Now here's Wright. Wright dips the shoulder, working end line, took a deflection. Another corner for the Roots, but that hasn't necessarily been a good thing tonight. This is their 14th corner of the evening. They have done nothing on any of them. And 5 minutes tacked on here at the end.
All you need is that one, though.
You know what they say, 14th time's the charm. A new taker this time. It's always been Diaz or Mafeka. This time it's Formella, punched away by Sanchez. But directly in the air, Pelaya's header goes wide. I don't know how much of that Sanchez saw. All the bodies in front of him looked like he reacted late. Lucky that it was wide.
I think Pelaya's was the only one that reacted to that ball that went 50 yards in the air. Unlucky not to get it on target, because that could have been 2-2.
Quickly fired back in by Tamakas. Murad. And Hackshaw, so they actually pushed Tamakas further up into the midfield with Rito. And Hackshaw just sat back defensively when he came into the match. Murad. Mafeka. Every single player back behind the ball now for Hartford. Mafeka sends it forward. Everybody pointing in their direction. And it will be a goal kick. Sanchez sends it long. 2 minutes gone of the 5 minutes that were given by referee Matthew Corrigan. Thought about calling a foul there on Hackshaw. Let it play out. Oh, counter because of that for the Roots here. After the Hartford giveaway. Rito to the corner. It was out for an Oakland throw before he took that next step. Graciano gets it in. Header is right at Sanchez.
Gonna need a lot more on the header to beat Sanchez from that far out with the header. Sanchez just gonna take his time on this.
No reason not to until the referee gives you a yellow card. Edwards flicks it on. This would be that growth moment that Tab Ramos was looking for if they can hold on and win this. After blowing it late against Charleston last week, they scored to make it 2-2 in the second half. Charleston then made it a 3-2 victory in stoppage time after a tie earlier against Colorado Springs. Had some tight results against good teams. 1-0 loss to Birmingham. They've just been on that verge of the breakthrough. They're not there yet, though, tonight. Mafeka keeps it in. Heads it inside. Cleared out for a throw. Just over a minute away from that breakthrough, Hartford. A team much better than the record indicates. Tab Ramos pointed to a few underlying metrics that they have been happy with. Second in the league in touches in the opposing box. Sixth in the league in terms of expected goals. Their pressing metrics had them near the top of the league. Over the top from Rito. The only thing that's been lacking for Hartford is 3 points in one try. And they're less than a minute away from it now, and that's a foul you can't commit if you're Oakland in the attacking third. About 100 yards, maybe 110 yards away from your goal like that. It's going to allow some more precious time to tick off the clock, and by the time this kick is taken by Sanchez, we might already be at those 5 minutes.
He needs to take a yellow here.
I think he might do just that. Corrigan's jogging down. There you go. Took the yellow. Got to do what you got to do.
Be the happiest yellow he's gotten in a while.
He might add another minute here, however. It's up to Matthew Corrigan. At the referee's liberty now. 5 minutes were given. 5 minutes have been played. Remember, he gave about an extra minute in the first half. Another free kick coming for Hartford, and this is huge in helping run out the clock. Well, they even have to take this one, and if they do, it's got to be down to the corner, you'd figure. Cedeno positions it. He has the winning goal. Came back in the 35th minute. 4 minutes after Prince Adi scored the opening goal. Cedeno to Edwards. Hackshaw comes away with it. Looking ahead to Rito. Was out of play. Frustration from Rito. I think he knows what's coming next. It might be the final whistle. Ashapalin get it in slowly. All eyes on the referee. Has to be the last chance now for Oakland if they can make something out of this. Set forward. There's the final whistle. For the first time this season, Hartford Athletic have a victory. Jessiel Cedeno, the game-winning goal in the 35th minute. They held on in the second half, just barely, but it all counts the same, and they're in the win column.
Yeah, it's a huge win on the road for Hartford Athletic. Oakland's got to be disappointed not coming away with any points there, let alone 3 points. So huge stepping stone for Hartford and great 3 points to go back home.
Back in a moment to put a ribbon on this one. First victory of the year for Hartford Athletic.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, as long as you do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots teamed up and took on food insecurity, empowered all athletes to improve physical health, and expanded health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community, together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
Wouldn't it be great to have delicious, healthy meals delivered right to your door? No planning, shopping, or prepping. And what if your delivery was full of plant-based, fresh ingredients that truly nourish and fuel your body? Try Thistle. Our in-house chefs create a new menu each week for you to choose from before it arrives ready to eat. No prep needed. And for a limited time, you can save $100 off your first 4 weeks. So go ahead and autopilot your diet. Get started today at jointhistle.com.
Look at highlights from this one between Oakland and Hartford, brought to you by UCSF Health. 31st minute, that's where the first goal of the night came for Hartford Athletic. They get it going with Prince Adi.
Yeah, when you're on cue and you're finding the ball like he is, and the ball just falls like that, that's when you know you're forward in prime right now.
That's his 4th goal of the season. It started every game for this Hartford team. It doesn't go down as an assist for one of the leaders in assists in this league, and Antoine Hopedal came off of Danny Barbier back to Sadie. All counts the same in the end, and they weren't done for this window of play. Just a few minutes later, you get the goal from Cedeno, his first of the year.
Yeah, you just see him get the ball here. Get a little lucky with the touch there, but it's a quick trigger. Goalie's not set, and it's a great finish into the far post.
Cedeno, player who was kept on for depth, has really emerged as a regular starter. You touched on it. Played with him last year. You saw it in him, and now he's doing it for Hartford.
Yeah, this is what he was doing in trainings, playing against the starting 11 all year last year, and now it's finally working well for him. He's proving it right now to Ramos.
Well done to get through the 2 would-be defenders and a clean, clinical finish. Oakland would not go down easily. And this is where things get a little tricky. You saw the right arm come out of Hodge. He was already on a yellow. The yellow for this handball was given to Edwards, who's 2 people away from him. Penalty given, Oakland would score, but with 20 minutes left, they felt they should have been up a man as well.
100% should be up a man. Great finish here by Formella. But if you're Oakland, you got to be disappointed with the ref's decision there. Got to be man off. Hartford playing with a man down in the last 15 minutes.
Oakland continued to press and press from there, but that tying goal would not come. They had opportunities that they'll be probably kicking themselves for looking ahead when they get home, get to sleep tonight, and wake up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, definitely. Good news for Hartford coming home with 3 points. Bad news for Oakland because I felt like they controlled the game in the second half, had the chances, and should have scored a couple more goals.
Well, that does it for us tonight. From the campus of Cal State University, East Bay, Hartford Athletic picks up its first victory of the season. Next up for them, an early season rematch. They will be on the road against Birmingham for the Roots next Sunday. On the road, it's their turn to go east against Loudoun United. From Pioneer Stadium, for the crew that makes this possible, and my broadcast partner, Corey Herzog, I'm Joe Malfa saying good night from the campus of Cal State University, East Bay. Hartford Athletic, first victory of the season, 2-1 over the Oakland Roots. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.